Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show. Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
The Messenger of Allah said, whoever says when the morning comes, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ نَبِيًّا, meaning, I am pleased with Allah as the Lord, and with Islam as a religion, and with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a prophet. Then I am the guarantor that I will take him by his hand until I put him into Jannah.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji, wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It is another beautiful Thursday morning, the 12th of September 2019, same as the 13th of Muharram 1441 according to the Islamic calendar. A big thank you to you, our viewers, for finding time and tuning in to the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV. Indeed, it is also important to thank the Almighty for giving us life, health and guidance every day. Alhamdulillah, it is a blessing. Do you know why? Because according to statistics, WHO says every 40 seconds someone takes their own life in the world. Every 40 seconds someone commits suicide. So we should say Alhamdulillah for the life and guidance that Allah has given us. And as usual, it is Healthy Thursday. We speak about your health. And today we're going to be delving into mental health as a topic, owing to the fact that we just came from 10th September, which was the World Suicide Prevention Day. And the whole of this month is the month of mental awareness. And also owing to the rates of suicide that have been, been experienced in our country recently, and the depression rates in our country, not only in Kenya and in Africa in general, but mostly in Kenya. But before that, we always have the newspaper review here at the Sabah Show. And today with me, I have Abubakar Mushiri and Clinton Obongo. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for finding time and gracing our show. Remember, we are coming to you live from the heart of CBD Nairobi, in Jamia Mosque premises at Horizon TV offices. You can join us in our discussions today on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Horizon TV Kenya. Let's begin. Heading on to the first paper there, I'm taking a look at Taifa Leo. na habari iliyopewa kipaumbele pale ni kwamba Ruto kimya, Mariga akihangaika. Na nikisoma ile habari ni kwamba naibu rais William Ruto jana alizidisha kimya chake, huku hatma ya mwaniaji wa chama cha Jubilee kwenye uchaguzi mdogo wa eneo bunge la Kibra, McDonald Mariga, akizidi kutiliwa shaka, na habari ile inaendelea pale ukurasa wa pili. Swali langu ni kwamba unadhani kwamba Ruto kweli amenyamaza kwa sababu pengine Mariga sasa yuko kwenye matata ama vipi? Abubakar.
Thank you for hosting me in the show today. You know, Mariga was a project from from the news that we received. Was a project of Ruto, because the idea was to post a candidate who is kind of popular, who is known to the people, not a new candidate who will have to do a lot of campaigns because there was no time for that. Introduce a popular candidate who people get to know, people know the person. But now the problem came with the IEBC saying that Mariga was not a registered voter, and Mariga now is saying that if you're in the process of registration registering for voter registration, then you should be allowed to vote in a political position. Unfortunately, now Jubilee is not only Ruto. Yes, Ruto is expected because for once Ruto's allies were for the opinion that he should be there, and then there were claims to Uhuru's allies that they wanted to post a weak candidate so that the seat is retained by ODM. So when people are talking about Ruto being quiet, it's because they expect that he defends Mariga to a certain way, and it has just happened that in the whole Jubilee camp, people are silent. People are silent about Mariga. Mariga is fighting this on his own, and I do not see him going far, to be honest, because you expect that if you have been given candidates of a certain political party and you face challenges in being cleared to get into the ballot, that the party officials or senior party officials of Jubilee party should be now defending him to a certain way or helping him with the court cases, but you're not seeing much of that.
Yeah.
So we could assume that Jubilee has let this one go, and they are ready to let ODM retain the seat in Kibra constituency.
Do you share the same sentiments, Obongo?
Yes, thank you. So with me, I think we should know the difference between politicking and politicizing. For example, when you say that Ruto is in now thinking that Mariga is now speaking for himself and going for the post by himself, and nobody is trying to defend. Yes, it might happen because, just as my friend has said, that there is claims that he is not a registered voter. Then how do you go for a position without being a registered voter? Then if you've been in that position, it means that you are just a project for someone. If you are a project for someone, then he or she should be up for everything that you do. And for this case, we don't know whether he's going to be supported that much or not. So I think by saying that Ruto is silent about the issue, it might be, to me it is correct, because now when he is not a registered voter, what are we going to do for that case? He has vied, and he is not going to to go for the position because of the IBC rules. Thank you.
Okay, so when you take a look at the standard there, we have 25,000 public servants risk the sack in job crisis. Now, to cut high number of unemployment youth, Starehe MP Charles Njagwa files motion to reduce retirement age from to 50 from 60. What's your thought on that, Abubakar?
Yeah, it's first you have to commend. Before we question the credibility of the bill that or the motion that is to be brought to Parliament, first you have to acknowledge that for once you have seen a young member of Parliament bring a motion to the House, and it has the interest of people at heart. Now he's talking about reducing the retirement age from 60 to 50. To be honest, we have very many government officials who are sitting in posts. They are past, some are past retirement age, and some they may have even the ID cards. They have my grandfather used to tell me that when they were taking ID cards, they were told you should lessen your age so that you do not retire early. So that is what is happening. So you have people who are in their 70s, but their ID card says they are 60 years old. So a person gets to sit there for too long, and by sitting in a government office, you are blocking someone's way. A person has gone to university, has studied, but the person is not able to get a job because you are there. You have worked for more than 40 years. You have earned a living, but we are not giving the chance to the youth. It could be workable, but it cannot fully quench the thirst for unemployment in this country. It could be workable, but it could lessen the level of unemployment in this country. But we need solid solutions. We need permanent solutions, because by reducing the retirement age, what you are saying is you'll have to increase the amount of pension that you give, the amount of retirement benefits that you give, which is still a cost to the government. But we need to look at ways as youths, to be honest, as youths, we need to see how we can create jobs by ourselves, and how the curriculum should be changed, not to focus the students on job, go to school, work hard, get A's, get employed.
Yeah.
We should be talking about curriculum before we go to talk about retirement age. Talk about curriculum, talk about job creation by individuals, by the youths themselves, if they're able to find capital. Talk about the expansion of the private sector, so that we can have more factories, more industries, so that we can accommodate more people into jobs. Such are the kinds of issues that we should be talking about. But it's positive for Jaguar to bring the bill. I doubt if it will be passed in the parliament.
Why?
Because these members of parliament, what happens? These members of parliament, they themselves are we have very few young members of parliament. So it's kinda a battle between the young and the old. It will be a battle between the young and the old. And when we talk about the National Assembly, the voice of the youth is very little, because we in Kenya, politics is too expensive. So how do you tell me I'm 30 years old, I need a few several millions to campaign to be a member of parliament? So it's a challenge that will be there. Honestly, I do not see the bill going through, but we need to look for permanent solutions on how we can solve unemployment.
Obongo, if I can ask you, from what he has said, and it's also reflected here on the paper, the story continues on page 6. It says that, he argues that the move is aimed to, curing the country's huge unemployment rate among the youth, and it also says that it's going to create some opportunities and, job opportunities for the youth. But him saying that, the youth nowadays don't have a voice. I think the youth have been given a voice, right? In the country.
To an extent, they have been given a voice. But on the same note, if Jaguar has brought a good motion actually to curb the problem of unemployment. But as we know, as you come from where you come from, or from your village, when you come from home going to school, you are always being told that, please, my son, my daughter, learn, so that in the near future we can have something to bring on the table. But for now, the issue of unemployment is much big, and it is a virus in Kenya, if I may say so, because the youths, most of us, have never been employed. And for Jaguar bringing this motion to the parliament, it is a good motion, yes. But just as my friend Abubakar has said, the motion is now going to be against the old people. And not the old people rather, but the senior persons in the good books of the government. But if you are going to go against the good people in the good books of the government, and they are the majority in that case, then we are going to lose, definitely. But with me, I now think that Jaguar has brought a good motion, yes. But how will it curb the problem of unemployment? Abubakar has just said that we should have a permanent issue. But for now, this one for changing the retirement age from 60 to 50, definitely we will curb a little bit, a minor percentage of unemployment, yes.
So it's a step in the right direction.
Yes, it is a step in the right direction, but it is also a negative part, because we have to increase the money that is going to pension. Because everybody now wants to, by that time he has said that if you are young, you are allowed to reduce your age so that you can retire late. Yes. But for now, what if the people now, you go past your age so that you can retire early and get the pension? It will still be a problem to the Kenya finance sector.
Okay, let's move on to the Star there. We have Raila plans to overhaul ODM ahead of 2022. And it goes on to say that the changes include buying new headquarters and part of the rebranding strategy recommended by an internal task force. The story continues on page 6. And if I can take a few paragraphs there, it says, while Raila has been tight-lipped on his political game plan, he is widely expected to face off with DP Ruto in the 2022 presidential race. You think this is why he's actually preparing to change things?
You know, when you talk about, we start with the handshake. You know, it created, it was positive. It brought a lot of peace and stability in the country. It created that business environment, you know, in the country. We had the tension, you know, among the two halves of the opposing sides in the citizens of this country. But it was positive, brought stability, business environment, but it shifted the politics of this country. So, as many claim, you know, that the opposition now it's like it's the deputy president, but Okuru Okot has declared himself as the official opposition. We have kind of an agreement, you know, kind of a consensus between the president and the retired, the former prime minister. So if it were to be the case, for 2022, it will be a party that has a more national outlook, a party that is willing to accommodate Jubilee candidates, because we are seeing Team Kieleweke, Team Tangatanga. So Team Kieleweke is more rational into accepting Raila as a friend. So if Raila was to start another party, rebrand the party or such, change the name or something, it could be for a national outlook, in a way that he can accommodate Jubilee, some of the Jubilee members of parliament, so that, you know, he can create a larger party, so that in preparation for the coming election. As much as he's not telling us, hi guys, I'm vying for president 2022, but it's something that we can see forthcoming, you know, it's something that we can see forthcoming. But for now, they have stopped talking about the referendum, in which, you know, they had plans to fix leaders in certain posts. So for now, whatever plans that is happening in the political world with the senior politicians, the president, the former prime minister and such, it will be not in our knowledge for now, but if the party is to be rebranded, it will be to accommodate more people, probably more Jubilee members of parliament. Before I come to you for the comment on this particular story, let's just take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll take your remarks. Thank you very much for continuing to watch the premier Islamic TV station, Horizon TV. Remember, you can join our discussion on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya, and you can also speak with me directly on my Facebook at Mariam Kasim. See you in a bit. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
The Messenger of Allah said, whoever says when the morning comes, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ نَبِيًّا, meaning, I am pleased with Allah as the Lord, and with Islam as a religion, and with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a prophet. Then I am the guarantor that I will take him by his hand until I put him into Jannah.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
From the most interesting things is the alertness of the dying person at the time of his death, for he becomes perceptive to a degree which cannot be described, and worried to an extent that has no limits, and he yearns for his times of old, and wishes that he be left so that he can make up for what passed him by, and so that he can be truthful in his repentance, in accordance with the level of certainty he now has about death. And he, out of grief, almost kills his own soul before its actual death. And if a single atom's weight of these things were found at the time of health and well-being, everything that is intended by doing pious deeds would be achieved. So the intelligent one is he who pictures that hour and acts according to what it requires. And if he is not able to do that, then he visualizes it as much as he is able to, for it will prevent desire's hand and will arouse determination in him.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Thank you again for continuing to tune in to the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV. We have just begun our newspaper review on today's discussion. Remember, we're going to be speaking about mental health later on, and this is owing to the fact that, you know, it is September, it is World Mental Awareness Month this month, and we have just crossed over from the World Suicide Prevention Day on the 10th of September, and it is heartbreaking to learn that every 40 seconds, someone commits suicide. Not attempts their life, commits suicide. So we'll be talking about that and more. Do start to send in your comments on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya. And you can also speak with me on my Facebook at Mariam Kasim, and, you know, just join in the discussion, send in your questions. Tell me, have you helped someone, you know, stop committing suicide, or have you met someone who's been depressed before? Do you know if you are depressed yourself? Send in your comments and let's continue with the newspaper review. Before we went for that break, I was about to take comments from Bwana Odongo hapa over Raila's plan to overhaul ODM ahead of 22. Do you think he is actually preparing for the poll?
Thank you again. With me, I think actually if you looked at the political atmosphere before the handshake, and if you can remember very well, during the 2007 post-election violence, so many of us lost their lives, so many lost where they were living.
Yes.
And then came the 2013, then the 2017, and then we had a handshake. The handshake actually changed the political atmosphere in Kenya.
Yeah.
Actually, such that if you are, those people who started their businesses in Kisumu, for example, those who are from Kiambu or rather who are from Central, who went to start their businesses in Kisumu, then can still go and do their businesses as wanted. That is the change that we want as a country. We want us to have that friendship such that if I am a Luo, then I can go and stay in Kikuyu land, and if I'm a Kikuyu, then I can as well go and stay in Luo land.
Yeah.
That is the best thing that we can have as a country. But it has always been that in politics that there are only the two communities that do not understand themselves. And in the case of Raila overhauling the Jubilee or ODM, I think,
yes.
To me, Raila has been a senior person in the politics, and I think whatever he does, he does it with some more intelligent and creative way. But with me, I think that overhauling ODM, yes, but he is going to have an accommodative party. He can have an accommodative party that can accommodate the Jubilee and the ODM, or rather any other party, and by having accommodating any other person from any other party, that will be a good thing for the country. I think so.
Let's move on to the Daily Nation. There we have anxiety, a very interesting story. Anxiety ahead of grade 3 test next week. Now it goes on to say learners countrywide will sit the first national exam of the new curriculum from Monday to Friday. Our schools which are expected to bear the cost of downloading and printing the test prepared. And the story continues on page 4. And if you can read there, if you get your nakala yako ya Daily Nation pale and you read, you learn that, you know, the students are complaining that they do not know what to expect from the test. They haven't learned how to download the exam, you know, from the NEC downloading portal or the website or the portal. My question is, if I may start with you, Clinton, do you think maybe the country is unprepared for the new curriculum?
Yes, I may say so. Because actually, we went to the new curricula without looking at all the negative sides of it. We brought, you can say that, for example, in Migori, there was a teacher that was suspended because of having sold some of the tablets. How we say that we want the new curricula and it is actually talent-based and any other thing that is positive according to academics. But now, for example, you've not taught these students how to use the tablets themselves. And again, some of the schools have not received the tablets. How do you want a student to, or rather a pupil, to do the examination using the tablet or downloading the things? Yet you've not taught him on how to do so.
Yeah.
Actually, we are in a current world where internet is taking over, and rather anything to do with social media is taking over.
Yeah.
But if you don't teach that young child how to use the same, how do you expect him to do well in the examinations? For the coming examinations, with me, I think that it is on a negative side, because we might have it is for the first time. It is well. They might fail a little bit or they might pass a little bit, but if they pass, it is well and good. What if they fail? What are the options that you have in place to come and correct on the issue? Yeah.
Yeah, Abubakar, if I can come to you right now, and you know, it also says in Kilifi County, head teachers have raised concerns about the high cost that they will incur due to the lack of computers and printing machines. And it also says at Dadu Primary School in Ganze constituency, head teacher Edward Saro said he was forced to travel to Malindi, more than 60 kilometers away, to access internet. Are we unprepared for the new curriculum?
I think first, the new curriculum, it's not a matter of should it come. It was a matter of when was it coming. But unfortunately, you know, it was positive. I'm for the opinion that it was positive the new curriculum came, because 844, it reached a time, it was almost, you know, passed by time. It was almost passed by time, because it was channeling people towards specific courses. You know, when you are in primary school, then you are asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? If you never said a doctor, engineer, lawyer, I mean, if you said you want to be a teacher, you'd be looked at badly. If you said you want to be a footballer, I mean, people, you'd be beaten up, you know. So the new curriculum had to come. But the problem with the government is the public participation and the sensitization. Because if you are bringing something new, first you have to ensure that the people involved in the implementation of it, who are the teachers, you know, the students themselves, they are well informed about what is coming to them, about the benefits of it. But we saw at the beginning of it, it's like they were forcing it onto people. You know, they were taking teachers for 2 weeks training, but the NAT is opposing for no specific reason, because you're imposing it on them. You're not involving them. You're not letting them participate in the decision making, telling them about the benefits. Everything has its disadvantages. You're not telling about the disadvantages, how we can help, you know, each other in the solutions of it. So that was the problem. And again, the financing of it. Kenya is facing some issues with the finances, because we can see allocation to county governments demanding more money, national government saying there is no money. Even
schools have been covered in the papers, you know, recently, that they are not sure about even the national examination because there is no money. You know,
and the head teachers themselves, not talk about the students actually. The head teachers themselves are saying, we have no knowledge of what the exam is about. It's very unfortunate. So I think what was rushed is the examination themselves. First, these are grade 3 students. These are class 3 pupils. You are giving them a national examination. What does a class 3 pupil know? I mean, you should give a national examination at a point of kind of maturity, at a point of realization. You know, when we were in class 6, it's when we started getting serious with our studies, because we saw, I'm in class 6, next year I'll be in class 7, class 8. So if you start giving a national examination at class 6, it's very reasonable. And again, putting in consideration that the curriculum has not even been in place for 5 years, then you had to give it time for people to adjust. You had to give it time, you know, for people to get to interact with the curriculum, to understand it better, and to give time also for technological development that can accommodate it, because the new curriculum involves a lot of technology, and which Kenya as a country does not have that, you know, that full capacity to accommodate it. So you have to give time. As the technology grows, then it can accommodate the curriculum more. But on the national examinations, grade 3, we rushed on it.
So we take some time between, you know, the curriculum being adapted to doing an exam.
Yeah, true.
You wanted to say something, Mr. Obongo?
Something on that.
Yeah.
So you see that, for example, we usually say that the country doesn't have money. Me personally, I don't concur to that say. Why? Because actually we always say that we are losing a lot of money doing things that are not in place. For example, while we were asking for money from China, and then we say that the 10 million has been lost. I usually hear people say that 20 million has been lost. In this case, about 10 million has been lost. Where does this money go? Where does this money go? We have some senior people who are always waiting, and even the ghost workers. Somebody is employed, but you personally you've never seen him. You are working in the same institute, but you've never seen him, and or her. Then when money comes, he or she is the first person to receive the money. Then we have those people who are surrounding for example, a managing director. They have to get theirs first before it trickles down to the people. Now, in this case, we want Kenya the new curricula is based on technology. Yes, it is based on technology. What if we take, for example, you take the tablets to schools? That is the first step. What about the security of this tablet? You are in a school where, for example, where I come from, we have a school that does not even have a gate. Leave a door. The school does not have a gate, and windows are always for jumping out and coming back. So we use the windows for the same issue as using for the door. Then you want to place these tablets in the office. How does it work? The internet has not been taken to those rural places where you want us to do technology and internet. You just said that a teacher moved for 60 kilometers
yes,
to go and access technology. In my area, we have several cyber, and they are calling themselves cyber cafes, but we don't have an internet in that cyber cafe. For example, only one printing machine, which the ink goes off after every 20 minutes. How do you want us to print this examination? I think the government should know, for example, if they are providing this thing, then should also provide facilities for the same. Such that we have the printing machines near the school. We don't have a teacher coming from the school to 60 kilometers. What about the money that is going to use on fare, and then he is going to use for printing the papers and then coming back?
Yeah.
I think the government should put everything in place. Actually, finance is the main problem in the country, and if we see on a way to curb that, I think the new curricula might be positive to me. However, for now it is negative.
Okay, so we take a hold on it. If we take a look at Business Daily, there we have on the splash, we have 92% of firms fail to pay corporate taxes, and it goes on to say KRA was there. Only a very small fraction of firms have filed their returns by the June deadline. Taxman tells MPs amid missed targets. Now, more than 90% of companies failed to pay corporate tax in the year of June, in what has puzzled the Kenya Revenue Authority and pointed to evasion of paying duties. We have not heard of this today. That last time I even asked, do you think that there should be, you know, a change in reforms in KRA?
You know, KRA, you know, it has deficiencies. Every firm has deficiency. But now the deficiencies of KRA are highly hurting us. Because what is happening, there are, you know, farms, industries, factories making millions a month are evading, you know, are not filing their returns. And those, you know, businesses, small and medium, especially medium enterprise businesses, which, who are, you know, they come and they give false records. First, it's because of high taxation. But as much as you're talking about high taxation, let's look at it. KRA has very weak means in collecting taxes with the firms. But what do they do when it comes to your salary? by the time your salary gets to you, I mean, they have already taken their cut.
Yeah.
So the common mwananchi who is earning meager salaries is being hurt at the expense of industries, people who are billionaires making hundreds of millions, in a month, with their factories. So it's about, let's look at the dynamics of it. How much could you collect from, like 10 citizens, and how much can you collect from one farm if you follow it closely? I mean, the numbers will speak for themselves, that if you go for the farms, if you look at how well you can increase your efficiency as a revenue authority, to collect taxes from industries, factories and such, then, we are complaining that there is no money in Kenya. I mean, there is money, but the money is not with the government. That's the problem. There is money, but it's not with the government. So KRA should improve on working on its collection of taxes, and it's about a legislation. We need some form of power to be given to KRA, that if industries do not file their returns, or if at any one time a big firm is found to have filed false returns, then legal action should be taken against them. And that's how we'll tend to ease the burden of taxes on our side. Because now, when they are not receiving these funds, what they'll do, they'll go for the small fish, and we are the ones to be hurt.
Yeah.
Our salaries, they pay, 30% for those earning more than 100,000. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So KRA needs to review how it's working by itself internally, and if we can, let's support it with the legislation so that we can empower it to go for these industries and leave us citizens alone.
Before I come back to you, let's just take a short break, and then when we come back, we can take remarks from you. Remember, you can join us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Join the discussion. Later on, we'll be talking about mental health. This is a problem. It's regarded as a taboo in our country, and I'd like to hear your views. See you in a short while. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kwa kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness,
Ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories.
Ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha.
Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
Repel the thought, for if you don't, it becomes an idea. So repel the idea, for if you don't, it will become a desire. So fight against that desire, for if you don't, it will become a determination and a passion. And if you don't repel that, it will become an action. And if you don't replace it with its opposite, it will become a constant habit. So at that point, it will be difficult for you to change it.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Naam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutegea The Premier Islamic TV Station. Kumbuka, unaweza kuungana nasi katika kurasa zetu za mitandao Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @Horizontv Kenya, ama sema nami pale Facebook @Mariam Kasim. Tunaendelea na uchambuzi wa magazeti hii leo asubuhi, Healthy Thursday, tukiwa baadaye tutazungumzia masuala ya mental health. But if we continue on the People Daily there, People Daily page 17, we have a story that always bugs Kenyans. Bitter cup of tea for farmers as they stare lower bonuses. Now, smallholder factories under KTDA management commence meetings to determine second payment, and they say that they should actually look forward to lower bonuses. Now, my question is, Kenya is well known for its tea and coffee. I mean, it was even given space in the 100 shilling note that we had before. But why is it that our farmers are not benefiting from, you know, the best crop worldwide that we are known for? Obongo, if I may start with you.
Yes. In crop production, basically for that tea and rather coffee, we've been the best selling, according to me, in Africa and worldwide, maybe number 2 in worldwide. But in this case, we have those circles, we have the government as a whole, and even the legislations to control on the how we do our businesses on the exporting and imports. We've been best known for selling a lot of tea. Then why do our farmers expect low bonuses? For in this case, where does the money go? We always say that, just as I said, the money first it enters into the country, then it trickles down between the people who are surrounding the management, and then as it trickles down, so such that for you, who is the main farmer, is not going to get the much of the profits as you are supposed to get. How then, for example, in this case, you are a farmer A, and we have Abubakar as farmer B. Then Abubakar is selling his coffee, you are also selling the coffee, and according to the plantations that you made, and according to how you had your yields, you expect a high amount of profit, or rather a high amount of bonuses. But in this case, it comes less. We are going to kill our farmers, because if you are working for something and you should actually, it is rightfully yours, and you should rightfully get the profit, and it comes down not positively, then how do you expect the farmer to work again? Then that is where we have a farmer who is actually using the tea production money to fund the schooling of school fees of the student, or rather the pupil. Then now we want to say that in education, we want our children, we have the new curricula, we want our children to be the best, such that in the later parts the student is able to bring something on table. But you are not giving them that option, because you are stealing from them. How do we miss, what are we missing in this case? Please, we are asking the government, let us do what is right for our farmers, because the issue about export, it has been an issue from time immemorial. I can't remember when, because while I was young, I used to hear that, oh, the tea has been sold and the bonuses are always reducing. Now we are going to expect even low bonuses. What are the farmers going to do? The government should put legislations and everything in place, such that and the circles, so that we can control the production of tea, or rather coffee, in a very good way, such that our farmers are not left behind in their production.
Abubakar, what say you?
You know, first, where I come from a coffee growing area. And one, we talk about the tea and the coffee crops. The coffee, you know, like some years ago, the coffee industry is in dying ages. And the tea was the only remaining, you know, was the only standing agricultural sector which was standing. But now we are seeing low bonuses. What is happening where I come from? People are cutting down their coffee plantations, because people have acres of lands which have coffee. They were bringing a lot of money in the 90s, in the 80s, but right now, I mean, there's no much to coffee. You know, you're selling coffee at losses, in fact.
Yeah.
So people have opted to planting avocado trees for export, and groundnuts, macadamia for export. Now the problem at the ground, from where I come from how we see it, is we have brokers. We have middle, you know, between the point of the coffee before and the tea before it goes for export. We have people at the middle. These people, what they do, And it's not only for tea and coffee. The same with milk. Because what happens for 1 liter of milk in the village, it's bought sometimes at 25. If you are selling it to a dairy at 35 shillings, but you come to Nairobi, a 500 ml packet, which is half a liter, will be sold at 50 bob. So we have middlemen between in the agricultural sector, and they are exploiting the farmers. And unfortunately, we do not have a person who can cry for the rights of the farmers, because now when the middleman buys at low prices and goes to and sells, or gives the government, because what they do, they buy in large amounts, so they go and sell to the government as farmers. The same was seen in the maize in the maize last season in Rift Valley, that people were taking thousands of bags of maize to the government, and they are not farmers. They buy at cheap prices, then they go sell at expensive prices. Now the farmers are not benefiting. So it's upon the government to come down to the farmers, if at all we are to support our agricultural sector, because you say that agriculture is the backbone of the country. But if you are letting people come in between, people who are well off, because these middlemen are not poor people, they are not farmers, they are rich people who can afford basic livelihoods, but they are at the expense of the farmers. They are benefiting. So it's upon the farmers to come together, form groups, form circles, start selling. It's something I saw in Nyandaro. They were selling green grams and such collectively. From that angle, if you are selling as a group, no one can exploit you, but as an individual you'll be exploited. So the farmers should come themselves, take the initiative, because as much as you blame the government, and the government is doing nothing about it, if you don't do something by yourself, you are the one to get hurt. So the farmers should come regionally, come together and start selling their coffee, their tea, all agricultural products as a block. From that angle, then we can be able to eliminate middlemen who are exploiting them, taking the fruits of their sweat, and therefore we can increase the amount of profitability from agricultural sector.
Heading on to a rather sad story there, if we take a look at the Standard on page 28, there's a story there. Parents call for justice in pupil's death, and a minor with autism drowned during a school trip. Now, the parents of a 4-year-old pupil with autism who drowned in a river on Monday have accused the school of negligence. And this reminds me, yesterday you were discussing with our very own Ibtisam Jamal about schools, special needs students wanting to be integrated into other schools, and they were talking about they do not need special needs schools. This is exactly why they need special needs school, because of the negligence. What do you think?
I mean, it's very unfortunate. The parent of the child is talking about negligence of the student,
of the teachers,
unfortunately, of the teachers, and unfortunately the parent was not informed of the trip. The parent is getting to know of the trip when the child has already drowned. So unfortunate. So it's a part, the teachers, when the parents takes the child to school, he kinda gives responsibility to the teachers to take care of my child, but there is that failure in this event, that the child with autism, he was not well taken care of. His safety was not assured. So one, we cannot, yesterday the newspapers were talking about that we should have normal students who do not have disability being in special schools. I mean, to make them, they were talking about segregation. It cannot work. So we need special needs schools to have special needs students, so that they are well taken care of. Because when you are a teacher and you are taking 40 students to a trip, you'll very hardly treat one student who is needy in a special way, because you have 40 students to take care of. So we have to stick with the plan that the special schools for special needs students, and the normal schools for normal schools, so that the level of negligence is not there. We do not have negligence, and we are able to take care of the children with special needs.
And maybe how can we better integrate the normal pupils? Let me not say normal, because everybody is normal, but how can we better integrate other students who do not need special needs and the special needs students to come together and actually work together, you know, and know each other and interact? How better can we do that?
Personally, I said my condolences to the family. You can remember, I think the teachers have failed to some extent, because there is a last time where a pupil was run over by a bus, but it was in the bus, then fell down and was run over by the same bus, and the driver then ran away. And this time around, then we have a student who was drowned, a pupil who was drowned. When you come from home going to school, the teachers remain to be your what? Your parents. Because now you are in a different setup. The teachers are your parent. What happens when your parent doesn't take care of you? Things of the same note can take place. And I think the teachers as a whole are not taking care of our students. For example, students with special need, or a pupil with a special need. Just as my friend has said, we should have schools in place for special needy students. And we should also, everybody is normal, yes. But those students, why do we call them students with special needs? Because they require the special
attention.
Yeah. They require the special attention to be taken care of.
So period, we should have schools for both students and find other means of interacting with them. So I am being told that we are out of time, but very quickly, if I may take just 2 minutes, 2 minutes only, 2 minutes only. Let's talk about Ronaldo. There, tunaambiwa kwamba Ronaldo muuaji pale katika gazeti, very quickly. And you know, some people say that he's a failure, and other people say that, you know, they hail him. Why? Personally, I was talking to you and you were saying, no, he only hails, or he only brings success in small teams. Very quickly, 30 seconds.
The statistics speak. Ronaldo has not scored against Germany. He has only scored 1 goal against Spain, and then he tends to shine on a weak team with 4 goals. I mean, first we have to talk about the debate between Messi and Ronaldo, who is better. It's clear, Messi is better than Ronaldo. As much as Messi has not been changing teams as Ronaldo has, as much as Messi is not kind of a leader that Ronaldo is, Messi is a better footballer than Ronaldo.
Yeah, but you remember Ronaldo has played against all the 40 teams that he has.
You know,
he has scored rather.
He scored. Messi has more goals than Ronaldo, and he has played less games than Ronaldo. He's younger than Ronaldo. But FIFA 20, you know, FIFA 20 came out yesterday, and it's clear. The ratings are clear. Messi at 94, Ronaldo at 93. So first, we should end this debate between Messi and Ronaldo. Who is better? Messi is definitely a better footballer than Ronaldo. He scores from open play, not from headers like Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo is, if it were not for his height and jumping, he scores with his head. If it were not for that, I mean, open play, very few goals.
I don't concur with my friend.
People say that Ronaldo, when he plays for a team, he carries his team, and Messi has not won any international game.
I don't concur with my friend Abubakar.
Very quickly, 30 seconds.
I'm not sure whether Abubakar is a footballer actually. I'm a professional footballer playing for different teams for now. For example, if you approach this issue with the neutrality, you can't say that Messi is rated more than Ronaldo in that case. Or rather, for example, in the statistics, those are the statistics for those people who make those games. For example, in that FIFA 20. Ronaldo, as a footballer, we always say that for you to gain your respect is to score against those teams. For a weaker team, score even if you want to score 10 goals. No. Score 10 goals for a weaker team.
Against De Gea, I mean, then if you are not scoring against Germany, against keepers, the best keepers in the world, like Neuer, then you are a joke. I mean, you are a joke.
No, you are not a joke.
Because, you know, statistics speak. Because you cannot say, I love Ronaldo, so he's better than. You cannot say that. But if statistics are saying that Messi, by all means, by goals, by such, as much as his national team has not been doing good, because it has had weaknesses by itself, but statistics speak for itself. Messi is better than Ronaldo. I mean, it's not a point of discussion.
No, Abubakar.
2 seconds,
yes. Thank you. I'm not a fan of Messi, and I'm not a fan of Ronaldo, personally. But if you go to the pitch, actually, I'm a footballer, and for me, for those people to reach where they are as per now, it is according to training and the respect that they give the the game. So you can't say that definitely Messi and Ronaldo don't rate. Yes, we talk about statistics, but
Okay,
I
I
can't
can
rate
see
them on
clearly
that
that this debate is not going to end. We are out of time. Mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kuweza kuungana nasi katika segment yetu ya kwanza ya uchambuzi wa magazeti. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for gracing our show. Later on, remember, we're going to be talking about mental health owing to the rates of depression in our country, as well as suicide that we have had all over the news for a very long time now. See you in a short while. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Who annoys you most? How do we be around annoying people that we have to be? This is a really important question for me. And I remember being at a development course where I saw this guy who was so laid back and he was so chilled out. I mean, the way he spoke, the way he walked, the way he did everything. So I thought, you know what? This guy knows. So I went to him and I said, you seem like a great, calm, chilled out person. Can you tell me, how do you stay like that when you're around annoying people? So he said something which was very profound for me. He said, I just remember that however they're behaving is about them and not me. Now I had to think